If you're studying Cisco ACI and you need hands-on experience, probably the best option right now is to use the Cisco ACI Simulator. Now, if you know, the ACI Simulator is a virtual solution where you have actually the ACI fabric, meaning you have the APIC, you have spines, you have leaves, so everything that you can deploy on a real environment but running on a virtual environment. Now, this virtual environment has certain limitations, like you can connect things directly on the leaves and you don't have essentially data plane, but you have control plane. Now, despite the limitations that the ACI simulator has, there are other features that we can actually take advantage of, like VMM or Virtual Machine Manager. This feature allows us to deploy ACI policies directly into virtual environments such as VMware vCenter. And that's what we're going to see in this video. We're going to see how to integrate Cisco ACI Simulator with VMware vCenter. Okay, to pull this off, we're going to need different components like VMware Workstation Pro. Okay, at the time of this recording, VMware Workstation Pro is available for free. The other software we're going to need is Cisco ACI Simulator. This is also available for free directly on Cisco. The other software is going to be Windows Server 2019, again available for free. The other one is going to be ESXi, and fifth is going to be vCenter server. Okay. Now, if we were to explain all of these in this video, that would take like just forever. So instead, what I'm going to do is to reference videos where I already explained how to deploy these components like VMware Workstation, ACI Simulator, and Windows Server. And we're just going to focus on how to deploy and integrate ESXi vCenter server. Actually, it's going to be vCenter server with Cisco ACI Simulator. The reason why we need all of these components is quite simple. VMware Workstation Pro is the hypervisor that I'm using to deploy all of these, meaning virtual machines. Cisco ACI Simulator, because we need Cisco ACI Simulator, and it's going to be running inside VMware Workstation Pro. Windows Server, that's going to be is going to act as active domain. So, but actually we're just going to focus on DNS because we need DNS in this environment. Also, we'll be running inside VMware Workstation Pro, and ESXi is the hypervisor. So ESXi is a hypervisor type 1. VMware Workstation Pro is hypervisor type 2. The difference, in case you don't know, ESXi normally is deployed on the piece of hardware, meaning directly on the server, on the PCs. But in this scenario, I'll be deploying ESXi inside a virtual environment, in this case, inside VMware Workstation Pro, funny enough. And vCenter Server is a software that we use to manage multiple ESXi hosts. So if we have multiple physical or virtual ESXi hosts, then we can manage all of them through a single management solution, and it's called vCenter server. Okay, not only that, but we actually need vCenter server to connect to Cisco ACI Simulator. We'll begin by downloading the ESXi server. So just search for VMware ESXi, and actually we want to go to Broadcom support website. So let's choose this one, and then here we want to select the Broadcom support portal. Here we're going to log into our account, then we're going to my downloads, free software downloads available here. There are two softwares that we need to download. One of them is going to be vSphere Hypervisor, and the other one vCenter server. Now we're going to click on vSphere Hypervisor. Now if we click on vSphere Hypervisor, you're going to see this release 808.0U3E. I tried to use this version. It didn't work in my scenario. I was able to install ESXi server, but I wasn't able to install or to connect with vCenter. So probably a bug there, I don't know, probably in my environment. So you can try to run this version and see what's going to be the outcome. Instead, I'm going to use version 80U2, and this is a version that I have for some time now, and that's the one that I'm using right now. So I'm going to go back. So actually, let me just show you the next step. So select this release, and then here you're going to see this is the ISO file that you have to download, and then just click on download. So I'm going back so that we can download VMware vCenter. Okay, now we're going to select vCenter server. Now we're going to click on solutions, and we're going to select vCenter server 8, and I'm going to select version Z8.0U2, okay, because I'm going to install ESXi version OU2. If you download this ESXi vSphere hypervisor 8.0U3, then you should download vCenter 8.0U3. I don't know if it's compatible to use ESXi version 2 with vCenter version 3. This is something that if you want you can try, but I'm going to download this version of vCenter server. So then I'm going to click on publish solution, and it's going to take me to this page. Here I want to download the VMware VCSAO ISO file. Okay, and just click on download. Before we install ESXi, we have to know what is the hardware requirement. So just do a quick search, ESXi 8 hardware requirements, and it's going to take you to this result. And here hopefully you can see this. So to install you have to use at the minimum 2 CPU, what else, at the minimum 8 GB of RAM or 12, and also make sure to enable Intel VTX so that you can use virtualization inside that virtual machine, and the hard disk should be at least 32 gigs. Okay, so this is the minimum, but obviously if you have more resources available you can add to your VM. Okay, let's install ESXi. So for that, let's create a new virtual machine and just click on custom, next, then go to the ISO file you downloaded. Okay, it's going to automatically detect the operating system. Just click on next, then give it a name, set the location where you want this machine to be stored. Click on next. Number of processors, I'm going to give 2 core processors, so I'm going to have a total of 4. As for memory, if you recall, we said that it should be at least 4 or 16. In my case, I'm just going to give 32 because I can, so 30. Next. For interface, it's going to be according to your scenario. In my case, I'm going to change these later from net to private host. So click on next, 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 and I'm going to create a new virtual hard disk. It's going to maximum disk size is going to be 142, but it's not going to take all this space now. Just click on next, next, and I'm going to disable power on this virtual machine. Actually, I have to change just the NIC here, network adapter, so I'm going to select to host only, so according to my deployment. Okay, so I'm going to save this and power on this virtual machine after creation. Okay, then it's going to load the ESXi installer. Okay, so then we're going to press enter to continue the installation. Accept the license agreement. Now we're going to select the hard disk by pressing enter. US defaults. I'm going to set the root password. And just click on, okay. Just press enter to accept and force installation. And F11 to install. Okay, the installation is completed, so now I have to remove the ISO file from the CD drive and press enter to reboot. Okay, ESXi is installed successfully. So now there are a couple of things that I have to change on this machine. So we're going to press F2 and log in with the root password. And I want to change the IP address from DHCP to static. So we don't want this IP address to change. I'm going to IPv4 configuration, and I'm going to select the option set static IPv4 address and network configuration, and I'm going to leave the same IP address. I'm just going to change the default gateway, although I don't need that. Everything is going to be on the same network. Just press enter, and then DNS, I'm going to use the following DNS. In my case, it's going to be 4320, and the host name of the ESXi is going to be vSphere. Okay, just 01. Okay, and that's it. Now escape to save those changes, and yes to confirm and apply them. Okay, that's great. And now probably I'm going to log out and power off or shut down this machine, because we have to add one additional hard disk. Okay, shut down. Okay, so now let's edit this VM, and we're going to add a new hard disk, and the size is going to be 142, because we're going to use this hard disk or this storage to deploy vCenter. Actually, the other VMs that we're going to deploy in the future. So click OK and power on this again. Okay, so now let's add the DNS entry for ESXi server and vCenter server. So let's go to DNS, and it should be my forward lookup zone, and I'm going to add a new host. So that's going to be vSphere 01. Okay, that's going to be the name, vSphere-binary-evidence.com. And I believe the IP address is 192.43.128. Okay, and we're going to add another one. That's going to be vCenter 01, and going to be 192.168.43.129. Okay, so ESXi host is going to be 128, and 129 is going to be vCenter server, because that's going to be a new virtual machine that we're going to deploy. Okay, that's great. So let's go to this PC that we're going to use to manage ESXi host. And so we should use our browser 43.128. Okay, let's dismiss this, advanced, and we're going to log in as root. And here we're going to remove this. I don't want to join the VMware program. And now let's go to storage. You can see we don't have any VM or only one networking, and we only have one data store, although we have two hard disks. Okay, so we have to add a new data store. So click on new data store, create a new VMFS data store, click on next, and it's going to detect the new hard disk, and we're going to give it a name. So it's going to be data store 2, and click on next. It's going to take the whole space, full disk, so next, and finish. Yes. Okay, so now we have two data store, and now we can start deploying vCenter server. So load the ISO file to your virtual machine or however you're deploying this. And so now let's go to my PC, CD-ROM. So this is the ISO file to install vCenter server, and go to this folder, VCSA UI installer, choose Win32, and find the executable. So just load this file. Okay, we're going to select the first option, install, click on next, accept the terms and the license agreement, click on next. ESXi host, in this case I'm using 128, and I'm going to set the password. So it's going to throw this warning. Okay, now I'm going to set the name for vCenter, so it's going to be vCenter 01. We're going to set the root password, and we're going to choose the tiny deployment. Click on next, and here we have to select data store 2. If you notice, data store 1 only has 2 gig space available, so that's why we had to create a new data store. We're going to select the data store 2 and enable the thin disk mode. Okay, click on next. So network's going to be the same state, so we can add full qualified domain name. Actually, let me just add this. Actually it's vCenter 01 binary avenue.com. Now, as you saw, it says it's optional. I haven't tried to deploy without setting these, but it's something that you can try in case you don't have a DNS server. Probably it's going to work. The IP address is going to be 129 for this new virtual machine. vCenter 01 binary avenue. Okay, just want to make sure that I have everything okay. And last double check here. So this is ESXi host, the new VM host name, deployment, IP address, fully qualified domain name, and yeah. So let's start the installation. Now, it shouldn't take long to see this process loading. If after 5 minutes you don't see nothing change, probably there is a problem. Okay, so now it's loading. So the first time I tried to deploy this using ESXi version OU3, this process was stuck at this stage like forever. So it wasn't loading at all. So that's why I had to deploy again using this version 8OU2. Okay, stage 1 is completed. So now we're going to click on continue to start phase 2. Okay, just click on next. We want to enable time synchronization to synchronize with the ESXi host and SSH access as well. Just click on next. Now for single sign-on domain, we're going to use the local one. So it's going to be vSphere.local. And I'm going to set the password for the administrator. And just click on next. No, I don't want to join these. Next. And yeah, finish. And we'll begin installation. Okay, stage 2 is completed. So now we can go to vCenter server and close this page. Okay, we click on advance and continue. We're going to launch vSphere client. Now to log in, we're going to use the administrator account at vSphere.local and we're going to the password. Okay, next we're going to data centers and we're going to create a new data center. Actually, there seems to be a problem opening vCenter on Edge, so I'm going to use Firefox for that. I'm just going to paste here and close Edge. Dismiss this, advanced. Same thing, accept the risk and continue. And we're going to log in again, administrator at vSphere.local, then type the password. Okay, so now let's go to data centers, actions, new data center. And the name I'm just going to leave as default data center and press OK. Now let's open data center. And here we're going to add ESXi host. So we're going to add host. We're going to type host IP address, so it's 43.128, if I'm not mistaken. Next. Root, we're going to use root for username and the password. Just confirm that and accept. Okay, this is our hosts, ESXi 8. Next. Manage host with an image. Actually, I'm going to disable this. Next. It's going to use the evaluation license. Next. This I'm going to leave as default, disabled. Click on next and finish. Okay, so now let's expand this data center. We should see now we have one host and we should see one VM. In this case, that's vCenter VM that was created. Okay. So if we go to this vCenter, this is what we have. It's running. Actually, I want to take a summary look at our host. and we don't, besides this VM, that's the only one we have. Okay, that's great. And for networks, we have one VM network. Okay, so far everything seems to be okay. And so now let's add vCenter server to Cisco ACI Simulator. So now I'm going to open Cisco ACI Simulator here. It's going to be 4324. Advanced. Okay, so I'm going to log in. Okay, yeah, my bad there. Let's do this again. Okay, so next let's go to virtual networking, VMware. And here we're going to expand this. Actually, we don't have, so let's create the vCenter domain. So the virtual switch name is going to be ACI distributed switch. And we're going to create AEP or associated attachable entity profile. We're going to create one, give a name, so ACI AEP. Click on next and finish. As for VLAN pool, so we're going to create a VLAN pool, ACI VLAN pool. We're going to use dynamic allocation and VLAN range, so we're going to use between just a random number, 1000 to 1200. It's going to be dynamic allocation. Okay, and we're going to submit this. So next, let's go to vCenter credentials and let me see if this is okay. And I'm going to maximize this. Okay, I think it's better this way. Didn't change much. Okay, anyway, vCenter credentials. I'm going to name this as vCenter creds. Username, that's going to be administrator. And the password, actually I believe it was username 8 vSphere, not local. Yeah, and save that. Now vCenter, we're going to name this as all caps here, vCenter controller. Actually ACI vCenter controller, the host IP address, so that's going to be 192.168.43.129. Data center that has to match this name here. In our case, I'm using data center, so it starts with capital D center. Associated credential, we're going to select vCenter creds, and okay. And I think here on port channel, we have select MAC pinning, physical NIC load balance, and that's it. Yes, we can submit this. Okay, so now we're going to see that this ACI distributed switch is going to be created also here on vCenter server. Okay, and so now if we associate VMs or other things that we might have on vCenter, I will be able to create policies on ACI Simulator that's going to match with what we have on vCenter server. So this is it, guys. This is how you connect ACI Simulator to vCenter server using ESXi version 8. I hope you found this video useful, and if you took value from it, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.